What's up, guys, and welcome back to Hogwarts Legacy. It feels good to be home. We are back in the castle. We are back to take on some more side missions, and we are going to be starting with Mr. Moon here. So I have been doing some grinding off screen. Basically, we got all the demiguise moons that we needed. The first step was to get 9, and then I think this second step, if we check it here, was to get another 13. Now, it was not easy. I will say one of the easiest ways, if you guys are trying to replicate this, is if you go out into the world, all the little towns, you can see it says that they've got a demiguise statue down there in the bottom left. Hogsmeade had 9 of them, I think. Yeah. You can find them around Hogwarts, but honestly, all these little towns, it's usually just like one little building that you walk into. Sometimes you have to Alohomora it, sometimes you don't, and you can get the statue. There's guides on YouTube, but we have all moons here.
Hello, Mr. Moon.
Oh, greetings. Any luck removing some more of those demiguise statues?
I've got 13 more for you.
I actually have some moons for you.
Dear me, you have been busy. Incredible. Thank you. You're ready for the final Alohomora lesson. With this knowledge, no lock shall ever stand in your way.
No lock.
You have done all I asked. I only wish I knew who put those statues everywhere in the first place. Alas. If you do find more, please feel free to remove them. You'll be doing your caretaker a huge service. And if I ever find out who the bully is behind this cruel trick, I shall let you know. Thank you once again for your assistance and tenacity.
All right.
Now that you've mastered Alohomora, no lock is unbreakable. But do feel free to keep finding demiguise statues and removing those moons.
So, we've got pretty much unlimited lock access now. Now, it says wait to hear from Gladwin Moon. Are we not done yet? Is there another part of this quest? I don't think we have to find more. It says wait to hear from him. Interesting. So, we might have something pop up at some point. But let's just start checking out some of the other quests around the castle here. Gareth Weasley.
It's me, Gareth. Do you have a moment?
Can I trust you?
Were you calling me, Gareth?
I was. After you helped me with that Fupa feather and potions, I reckoned you might be just the person I need. You see, I have an idea for a fizzing Whizbee-inspired beverage, but I'm missing a key ingredient.
Where do you find time for this and your homework?
I've plenty of time for both. Been managing for years. So, I suspect the key ingredient in fizzing Whizbees is dried billywig stings. I heard there's a store of them in Honeydukes' cellar.
We haven't even checked this out
I'd
yet.
get them myself, but my Aunt Matilda has her eye on me. Thinks I need to focus on potions class for a while, not for my own brews. I was hoping you could follow a secret passage to Honeydukes' cellar
The one-eyed
and grab a
witch.
few dried billywig stings for me.
Absolutely.
Of course. You never know when you might need a quick means of escape from the castle.
Brilliant, thank you. But you should know that it's not exactly quick. It's the secret bit that's helpful. The passage is hidden behind the statue of a one-eyed witch in the 3rd floor corridor. Just tap it with your wand and say, Descendium.
Okay.
I'll see what I can do, Gareth.
Fair enough. You shall be the first one to taste my newest brew if you can be of help. Perhaps I can convince a meat to help me with my potions homework. Get my aunt to loosen her reins a bit.
So this must just be something that runs in the Weasley family, huh?
I'll need to get those dried billywig stings for Gareth if he's to finish his latest concoction.
The trickery. So yeah, I remember passing by this
one-eyed witch
statue.
Shouldn't be too hard to find.
It's right here.
This looks like the right statue. Now, what was the password?
Descendium.
Descendium.
And that's a secret passage.
Goodness.
Ooh.
Who knew this was all down here?
I've always been curious what this would look like.
A lift? Must be how I get down. Looks broken, though.
I think we're gonna have to do a little bit of reparo here. Haven't used this in a while. I honestly think that's one of the coolest spells that we've learned yet. Every time we use that, it's
That seems to
fascinating.
have done the trick.
I thought this was just going to be like a quick cutscene. No, it's making us actually
This
use
castle will never cease to surprise me.
Dude, this is amazing. Things like this are what, like, you always hear about the secret passageway to Honeydukes. But what did it look like? I mean, I guess that's going to be up for interpretation.
Revelio.
Oh, loud. Have mercy. I really don't love this, but I guess we're just going to have to keep pushing forward.
Confringo. I'm trapped. How am I supposed to get out of here?
No, we're not. We're going to be fine. I'm pretty sure this is the way we came. That's the way we came. Yeah, that just goes in a circle. Interesting. I didn't even notice that before. So we need, it looks, this has the feather on it. I think we might be able to lift this up.
Levioso.
Ha. Okay. So it's not going to be as easy as it seems.
Going to have to get past this.
Looks like we can do the same thing here. Could be more down here, though.
Revelio.
You think there's... I mean, I don't really like swimming in uncharted waters, but there's got to be something else down here. There always is. Granted, we are, I think, a bit of a high level for this, so I doubt we're going to get that much good stuff. I'm pretty sure, I think the legendary chests scale to your level, but then I think some of the other chests, the smaller ones, they're like limited to, you could only get a certain amount. So we couldn't come down here really early on and get like a really good piece of gear, if that makes sense.
Levioso.
We're gonna have to repair this first. Oop.
Reparo.
And then Levioso.
Levioso.
Never would have thought it was like this.
Confringo.
Way too many spider webs. Reparo, Levioso.
Something is getting in the way of that platform. Perhaps I should cast Accio to get that frame out of the way first.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Levioso. Aha. Got it. This must be the way. I need to find a way to open that gate.
I'm wondering if we need to
Confringo.
turn these on. And look at that. We are now in the cellar of Honeydukes.
Something smells sweet. Must be close to Honeydukes.
That is amazing, dude. I mean, a little bit more treacherous than I would have guessed, but pretty amazing.
Hogsmeade, here I come. Honeydukes. I can smell the chocolate. Now, where would I find the dried billywig stings for Gareth?
I mean, this feels a little wrong. There they
I
are.
have the dried billywig stings. Now back to Gareth. I can only imagine how his new recipe's going to turn out.
And look at that. We were back up top.
I dare say that Harlow fellow got what he deserved.
Yes, he did. That was your boy's work. All right. Back to Hogwarts we go. We could take the fast travel Flue Flame route. Moments like that, man. Even just walking up these staircases, this is what I think the coolest part of the game is for me. It's such a good game, but just seeing the things
Hello,
that
Gareth.
I've grown up
I have those dried billywig things.
reading.
You got them. Incredible.
We can ask for money back.
Happy to help. Here you go.
This is brilliant. Can't wait to get started. Thank you again. I'll let you know when I brewed my first batch of fizzing whizbeer.
Beautiful. All right. Well, good luck with your venture, man. Don't let the professors find out about it, or your aunt especially. So next up, we are going to be heading down to the Hogwarts boathouse. There's a student down here, Nerida Roberts, who's been chilling, sitting on the docks. Might need some help. We'll see what we've got going on. This is quite the journey. We started halfway down. Can you imagine? There's the main part of the castle coming down the entire side of the cliff here. This is maybe not the most efficient route they could have built. Oh, Nerida looks like she's going through it right now.
Why did I never learn how to swim?
Going for a swim?
Goodness, no. Though I'm beginning to think I really should learn how to swim. Can't very well be liaison to the Merpeople if I don't know how to swim.
You're a liaison to the Merpeople.
Well, not technically, no. At least not yet. The position doesn't actually exist at the moment, but I have a plan to change that. I'm Nerida, by the way. Nerida Roberts.
Okay, this chick's
We
weird.
didn't officially meet, but we dueled in the Crossed Swans Club.
Yes, of course. Good to see you again.
And you.
You seem quite interested in Merpeople.
Lots happened since
I
then, huh?
am. And they're as misunderstood and disregarded by wizard kind as goblins and centaurs are. I feel that if goblins and centaurs have liaison officers at the ministry, then the Merpeople should have one too.
You know, I don't think she's wrong.
I'm impressed. I think reaching out to the Merpeople is a grand idea.
You do? Oh, thank you. Of course I haven't exactly done anything just yet. I presented them with a gift a few weeks ago, and they wanted to leave me one as well, in one of their caves. Reciprocity and an offer to visit. I tried telling them I couldn't swim, but I'm afraid that bit got lost in translation. Mermish really is tricky.
So you want to be the liaison to Merpeople without swimming?
How has wizard kind fallen short in its treatment of Merpeople?
Well, we've consistently deemed Merpeople as being beneath us despite the many similarities between our cultures. One can hardly blame them for declining being status by the ministry years ago. Who are we to classify those of such beauty and intelligence?
She sounds like she'd be good for the job.
Well, I can swim and could help you if you'd like.
You'd really do that? Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. The last thing I want is for them to think I'd shunned their gift. Diplomacy is a delicate dance. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think you can dive down to their cave from just there in the water.
So you want me to... Okay.
I can't wait to hear about what you find. One day soon, I'll see for myself.
You want me to dive down into a mer cave? Well, this makes me a little bit nervous, but,
Look at this place. Did the Merpeople really leave Nerida an artifact?
we've got...
Lumos.
Oh, we're gonna have to free him
Confringo.
from his...
Lumo. Now then, I'll need you to come with me.
little prison that he was in.
Now for the
Go
rest
there.
of you. Confringo. Lumos.
Gonna get the second one here. And we've got one more over yonder. There's still so many of these we're gonna have to find around the castle if we want to try to get 100%. Missions like that, where you're just kind of doing busy work, I don't like. When we have things like this, where there's like characters, like the fact that they tied
What
her
do we
in
have in here then?
back to the very first thing that we did in episode
Nerida
1
will
is
be
pretty
happy
cool.
about this.
Wow. She got a sweet necklace. Kind of a little bit jealous, not gonna lie. Well, back to the land of the oxygen breathers, I guess. Gonna go see what Nerida's up to.
You can't imagine how inconvenient.
Your gift from the Merpeople was exactly where they said it would be.
Oh, that's wonderful news. I was so worried I'd left it too long and they'd seen it as a slight. Our relationship with them is already so tenuous.
I've decided to keep it.
Then I'm glad we helped to foster some healthy diplomatic
You
relations.
could be such a...
Merlin's beard. It's marvelous. I'm going to show it to everyone, including the ministry. Should I hand deliver or send by owl?
Hand deliver.
Thank you
Bring your resume.
again so much. You may have just helped improve relations between wizard kind and merpeople for decades to come.
You know?
I can't wait to study this.
It's honest work, but somebody's got to do it, baby.
I'd much rather...
Look at this staircase. Seriously. Look how just absolutely insane that is. Can you imagine? Hey, I want to go down to the boat docks for a nice summer swim. All right. Take that. No, thank you. Kind of excited about this next one here. We've got a history of magic class.
In today's lesson, we will cover a truly thrilling event. The Goblin Rebellion of 1752 and all its triumphant tragedy. But more specifically, we will address the devastating effect it had on the wizard milling industry. Throughout the
You actually have to stay awake.
battles, countless wizard cloaks were lost. Actually, we do know the number. 632.
This is
But
brutal.
history occurs outside the classroom. And look, it's time for my constitutional. One can practically osmose the history flowing through Hogwarts.
I think the professor wants us to follow him.
This is a real mission right now. This is kind of like a hidden class, I guess you could call
The
it.
Bell Tower entrance hall. Along with the rest of the castle, it was completed in the early Middle Ages. The hall and the bell towers that loom above
He's
it
just talking at
contain
us. He's not
myriad
teaching.
Interesting artifacts.
This is like what it would really be like to go to Hogwarts. I'm sure a lot of your classes would not be as exciting as, you know, actually casting and performing magic. A lot of it would be like
Good to
this.
see you again. Recovered from that nasty bout of dragon pox, have we?
That wasn't me, Professor. I'm new here.
Are you? Well then, welcome. No doubt you're eagerly anticipating my analysis of various wizarding councils, codes, statutes, and of course, goblin rebellions.
I gotta be honest,
Not
sir.
all
Not really.
goblins are rebellious. Some venture into wizarding politics, such as Eargit the Ugly. Some are talented artisans, such as Bragbor the Boastful.
Interesting.
Did you say Bragbor?
The one with the journal?
I know that name.
Well known for his metalwork.
He's the one that...
I would imagine much of his goblin wrought iron and silver has survived to this very
He's the one that
day.
contained the...
Oh, of course. Hogwarts said he was an ancestor of Ranrock.
Where were we? Oh yes.
Isidora's magic
Back to
that
our
she was pulling out
class
of people.
topic for today. Grimbold Weft. Another notable historical figure. He's right nearby.
This is the...
Curious students can find him on display here in the bell tower entrance.
Wagadu's history is, well, a bit different than that of Hogwarts, to say the least.
Okay, so you want me to collect the field guide page of Grimbold Weft.
Sir Scagglethorpe the Heedless once challenged a mountain troll. Chairs.
Amit, do you know where
Care
this
to guess who won?
this thing is? Got a level 1 lock here.
More.
Such an invigorating thing, but yeah, you got to think about it. Like, think about how, like, in our classes in school, you know, occasionally you get something really fun and exciting. You do like some sort of a crazy experiment or something. And I'm sure that's kind of the equivalent of practicing magic in Hogwarts. Nope, this is not it. Okay. I'm not sure what's down there, but it looks pretty interesting. There's got to be maybe up here.
Revelio.
That's a cat.
No, this is...
That's not what we were looking for. It's got to be back this way, maybe. Maybe up top
Students often complain of
over
it.
yonder. But you know, most of the time it would just be learning,
I suppose
information,
successful is a relative term,
studying.
since whoever cast it didn't live to tell
I don't
the
know.
tale.
It would not be. you know, charmed class every single day.
Hogwarts
Where
founders
is this?
could
Is it
never
over
have
here?
achieved such argument,
Revelio.
majesty.
The Three Sisters bells. Where is this stupid thing? Is it on the right?
This isn't quite.
Broken broom. Do you have any idea? It's got to be this. Is it this?
This Grimbold Wolf sounds like a helpful fellow.
Grimbold Weft. This is the skull of famed tailor Grimbold Weft, whose skilled needlework repaired countless witches' and wizards' coats during the Goblin Rebellion of 1752, thus preventing them from taking ill during battle.
Oh yes, I see you found Grimbold Weft.
Why didn't you tell us it was just his skull?
Well, of course he's just a skull. Everyone knows Grimbold Weft died of dragonpox in 1753. Now, let's turn our attention to the agreeability and general good nature of Sir Athbuttle.
Can we maybe not?
He's also nearby. See what you can learn from him for your next assignment.
This is brutal.
Standing in eternal but symbolic watch over the bell tower is a retinue of loyal knights, or rather, statues of knights, I should clarify.
Revelio.
Students will spot the statue of Sir Athbuttle of the cheerful countenance nestled among the ranks.
Okay, so he's got to be up
His fame was not won by vanquishing
in
foes
those?
in single combat, nor by slaying bloodthirsty dragons, but rather in training yards and scullery.
This has got to be him right here. See, if we listen, it makes our job a little bit easier. Waving Knight, that's not it. Is that it? Oh, that was it. Wow. Thanks, Professor Binns.
Everyone to make the
I can see why this wasn't a
statues
core
of
class. I will not be taking
Professor
this
Binns,
next year.
I found the statue of Sir Athpuddle.
Ah, well done. Alas, Sir Athpuddle's affability was his undoing. Died instantly trying to befriend a basilisk. Eye contact is not always to be encouraged.
Fair enough.
So beloved was he that even some goblins mourned his passing. Of course, that did not bode well with the rest of the goblins, most of whom could not abide mourning the loss of a wizard.
Goblins and wizard kind will never trust each other.
Yes, well, it takes a cauldron to raise a chisperful, as they say.
Do they?
History does tend to repeat. It is a series of patterns, a thought both comforting and disconcerting. The wise students, such as yourself, will learn from it.
I'd rather learn in the field, Professor. I appreciate your time, though. Wow, that was by far the worst class
History is written by those who do their school.
we have taken part in, but that leveled us up to level 30. We'll take that. The story behind him is, I guess he was in like the teacher's lounge or like the... I can go look at his classroom, see what we got going on. Probably a page in here to take as well. But he was in kind of like the teacher's area, and I think there was a fire? I may be mistaken.
Aloha
But
Moa.
he died in like the armchair in the lounge, and then he just woke up the next morning as a ghost and went on to teach class. He's been teaching class since, so... You know, I would think that being forced to work for the rest of eternity, you know, having to continue to go back to your job even after you've died would not be the best thing in the world. But at the same time, for somebody like him, I don't think he could be any more happy. So more power to him. He's got a whole secret area behind his classroom here. Gonna see what we can find.
Revelio.
Is this his office? Professor Binns, I must say I was baffled by your recent observation that students, in your opinion, seem to be rather lethargic. I can confidently say that I have not seen evidence of such lethargy in my own class. This is from Mr. Ronan. I even took it upon myself to speak with some of the students in hope of getting to the bottom of this anomaly. Upon this, I soon learned that you have been lecturing them on the little-known facts of historical conflicts. Perhaps you might think of moving more swiftly through the finer details. One of them was almost in tears describing a test question pertaining to Grimbold Weft and the number of buttons found on a wizard's garment in the rebellion of 1752. Apparently, one additional button above the norm had been affixed. It's entirely up to you, but students likely struggle to appreciate such nuances. In my opinion, of course, And I do hope you don't mind my mentioning. Mr. Ronan just loves his students. Cares more about his students than anything else. Great guy.
Accio. Confringo.
I just love stuff
Aloha
like
Mora.
this, though. Ooh. There's an Aloha Mora chest. I don't think I've seen one of these before. But I love seeing the behind the scenes. Getting like little random facts and tidbits. Lace sorcerer hat, and that is actually an improvement. I can't even remember the last time I got an improvement on my gear, but that's pretty good. It's only a purple though. I feel like I'd rather keep this and then increase it. I don't know. We'll see later. Down here in the greenhouse, it looks like we've got a Ravenclaw, Samantha Dale.
Samantha, is everything all right?
Has a problem.
No, it's not. It's my brother William, the one I told you about after Charms class. He's been cursed. He ignored my warning, and now he's lying in St. Mungo's looking completely pathetic. He simply never listens.
I'm sorry, how exactly has he been cursed?
Oh, you won't believe it. Truly, but his feet were turned into purple beets. You can imagine his distress. And mine. I won't even go into the attention he was getting from our garden rabbits before he admitted himself to hospital.
That's not good.
Beats for feet. How hilarious. I mean, how terrible. Horrible, truly.
Oh, just
You and the entire
awful.
school may find it funny, but the situation is dire.
Well, it is an unusual situation. How did your brother end up like this?
It's entirely his own fault. I told him about some research I'd done recently on our ancestor Marmaduke Dale. In particular, my discovery that Marmaduke's tomb was cursed.
So he went in there.
My brother's always making fun of my discoveries. This time, he laughed in my face. Told me I'd misinterpreted my findings. As if that were possible. And to prove his point, he went right up to the entrance of the tomb and poof! His feet transfigured into beets.
And now you need me to raid that too. I mean, to be honest, he
If I'm
did
honest,
deserve
I'd
it.
say he had it coming.
Normally I'd agree with you, but he's my brother. I know what he did showed abysmal judgment on his part. And no one deserves such a fate to last forever, especially as the result of a single brainless mistake.
So you need me to go check it
Now
out
I'm
and
worried
fix
that
it.
if the curse isn't reversed, it could become permanent.
Can't the curse be broken?
Possibly. The curse stems from a crest that was stolen from Marmaduke. If the crest were returned to its rightful place upon his sarcophagus, then I believe that William's feet may be restored. You battled trolls when they attacked Hogsmeade, escaped a dragon, and I could tell by your work and charms that you're a skilled spellcaster. Returning a crest to a sarcophagus should be almost effortless for you. So, will you help us?
I mean, to be honest, I
take
have
the
dealt
crest
with
to
quite a few of
Marmaduke's
these
sarcophagus for you.
situations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I got you, my lady.
You'll simply go into the tomb where Marmaduke was laid to rest and place the crest on top of his sarcophagus. According to my research, the tomb's been abandoned for centuries, so it should be a fairly simple task. You'll find it just east of the hamlet of Brockborough.
Should be a fairly simple task, she says. Why do I feel like that's never actually the case? The Dale family tomb. You know, eventually we're not going to have to go crawling through these. It's going to be great. We're not going to have
feet
to...
didn't turn into beets. That's a good start.
Not going to have to, you know, deal with all the spiders and everything else. And Fury.
Revelio.
All the other problems that we've become accustomed to. Do you mind if I just help myself while I'm down here? Got a sorcerer hat.
Should have known a herbologist would use Devil's Snare.
Confringo.
Did you miss? How did you miss that, bro? I hate it when there's like a... Oh, is this what we just came through? I'm pretty sure that's what we just came through, yeah. I was gonna say, I hate it when there's like a bajillion different ways that you can go. Just throw Lumos on.
Lumos.
A troll? You can't be serious.
I mean, we've fought so many trolls in our timeline. I think we're just gonna take We fought a billion of those dudes. It just takes a while. It's not difficult. Thanks for the bogeys, bro. Gonna be able to use those for my potions. And it looks like the sarcophagus has been opened?
A sarcophagus? This must be Marmaduke.
I guess they had to do that to...
That should reverse the curse. Hopefully.
Okay. Please tell me there's not going to be anything to get us on the way out of here. So somebody came in and stole the man's shield. I'd be cursing people's feet with beats too. Be a little bit upset. Definitely not going to be able to go out the same way we came in because we slid down that thing. We've got some pretty sketch music.
Bombarder.
See lots of spiders.
Revelio. Bombarder.
I don't know what the way is out of here though. Maybe this?
Confringo.
Somebody's little gardening station down here? Okay, let's just try to keep going up, hopefully. Again, I'm just... You know, I'm ready to be done with the whole tomb thing eventually, one day. Is this the way out? Looks like we made it. How we look at Samantha?
I'm happy to tell you that I returned the crest to Marmaduke's sarcophagus just as you asked.
I thought as much. I received word from St. Mungo's that my brother's feet are back to normal. No more beats. Oh, I cannot thank you enough. It wasn't too much trouble, I hope.
Just a measly old troll.
Been
Nothing
worse.
significant.
A troll? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. That's awful. No one has been in that tomb for centuries. But I can't say I'm surprised. Marmaduke seems to have been full of surprises.
Indeed he was.
Well, I suppose I should be going. I'm anxious to see my brother, who must be elated to have his feet back.
Of course. I certainly would be.
William and I are forever in your debt.
Well, you are very welcome.
Thank you again for what you did.
I've always seen this lock. We can't get in. Dang it. I was hoping we were going to be able to open that. See what old Professor Garlic was hiding in the greenhouses. So while we're helping our fellow students, we've got something going on here. Cresta Bloom outside the library.
Is everything all right?
Oh, hello. Thank you for asking. I'm Cressida, by the way, and I'm afraid everything's not all right. I may be in a spot of trouble with the librarian. You see, I'm fond of creating my own charms. Thought I'd perfected my light as a feather charm to use on my library books. My arms get so tired carrying them around all day. But I must have confused the Latin word for feather with bird in my incantation, because when I opened my bag just now in the library, they literally took flight.
Well, that's not good. Sounds cool, though.
That sounds brilliant, actually.
Thank you. Somehow I don't think the librarian will see it that way. I collect the books and remove the charm myself, except this isn't the first time one of my charms has threatened the peace of the library. Our meet told Madame Scribner they were my books flying around, so she said that if I caused her any more trouble, she'd write to my parents. Perhaps you could get them for me. There are only 5. She won't be suspicious of a new student looking around.
I suppose I could help, if I have the time.
Oh, I'd very much appreciate it. One of the books is my diary. I'd rather it not fall into the wrong hands. If you could collect them and bring them to me, I can remove the charm.
So you just need me to get your flying books from the library here.
I'm going to have to use Accio to get to those books.
God, the ministry will hear about this.
Accio! This must be Cressida's diary. I'd want this back too if I were her.
Today was a good day, that is, until Gareth splashed whatever ridiculous concoction he was creating all over my perfectly stewed lacewing flies. Had to empty my entire cauldron and start over. He's such a menace. Thinks he knows everything there is to know about potions, always disrupting Professor Sharp's class with his experiments. I'm utterly convinced that if he wasn't Professor Weasley's nephew, he would have been expelled by now. Are both Smokies again tonight for dinner? I'm becoming more partial to them now. Although, still prefer meat pie.
Accio.
Well, this is going to be one of the easiest side missions I think we've ever done.
Accio.
Got one, and I see one more over here on the other side. Yeah, to be honest, Gareth is definitely
That's
not
the last book.
my favorite
Now
in
to
this
take him
game.
back to Cressida.
I saw Nick Merck's clip on Twitter where he's like, "There's never a Gareth I've ever liked," and I
Any luck
can
finding
sympathize
Hello,
with that.
Cressida. I collected your book,
I'm sorry if your name's
including
Gareth.
your diary.
I'm sure you're great.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you. I'll happily take the heavy lot off your hands now.
Unless you
I'm
want
gonna
your
blackmail her.
classmates to know how you really feel about them, you might reward me for my time.
Oh, you're not at all who I thought you to be.
I am a Slytherin after all.
I wouldn't do that to you, Cressida. Only trying to teach you to be a little more careful.
Well, lesson learned. I certainly won't be practicing any charms in the library again anytime soon. Now, to work out where I went wrong. Perhaps I should start brushing up on my Latin.
That's actually hilarious. Imagine we would
Thank
have.
goodness some people are trustworthy. Certainly
Yep.
wouldn't want
Good
to
for you.
complete reading like that.
I always got you. Don't you worry about it. I'm not going to tell Gareth about how you really feel. We're actually going to go back in the library here. So every time we've been in the library thus far, there's a portrait, I think, back here that's just screaming.
Fool of Ferdinand Octavius Pratt.
Extremely annoying. What's going on here,
Sir, are you all right?
Ferdinand?
You seem to be in some distress.
All right? Do I look all right? I've been kidnapped.
How can you be kidnapped when you're right here?
What sort of question is that? Of course I'm right here.
His other
I've more
portrait.
than one frame. Do you only have one home? It's my other frame. It's been stolen. And by students, no less. They paid filthy thieves to steal my other frame.
Did that really happen, or are you simply being overdramatic?
Of course it happened! I heard it straight from the horse's mouth! Oh, she is a rather horse-faced girl, that's
Well,
a
that's
story of
rude.
cricket. She and her friends were moaning about me of all the nerve. Then I heard her plot to enlist a gang of good-for-nothings to have me stolen from the Three Broomsticks. That's where my other frame hung. A hovel of a place. Though I suppose one could do worse. I once knew a portrait who ended up in the Hogshead. No one's heard from him since.
Right. So back to your frame.
Ah, yes. There I was, powdering my wig, and the next thing I knew, I was being manhandled by rogues and carried off. As if I can afford not to be at my post. I do important work for the headmaster, and I need my other frame back at the Three Broomsticks.
This guy seems really annoying, but let's just do it so he
I
stops
could look into the
talking.
matter for you.
Oh, would you? How marvelous. Do it quickly, though, won't you? The place they took me to is quite beneath me.
Yeah,
Off you go, then.
Okay, talk to Astoria Cricket at the Three Broomsticks. The sooner this guy is out of my life, the better. What's going on here, Astoria?
Astoria Cricket?
That depends. Am I in trouble?
Ferdinand Pratt thinks you should be. Says you stole his frame.
I wouldn't call it stolen. Relocated's more like it. How do I put this nicely? Ferdinand Pratt is a pustulant boil, and he's lucky I didn't have him sealed in a wall.
You know,
He truly is rather foul, isn't he?
All he does is spy on students in here and report back to the headmaster. Sometimes, if there's nothing to report, he'll make it up. I
Oh,
spent
wow.
4 hours in detention last week, all because he told Black that I was planning to drain the lake, whatever that means. It was the last straw. He and his frame had to go.
you know, I
May
kind of
ask
agree
where
with you.
Put him?
Oh, I didn't put him anywhere. The frame is likely with the fine gents I paid to snatch it. They camp in a ruin by the coast. I just wanted it far enough away that I'd never have to think about Ferdinand Pratt ever again.
You do know he's screaming in the library as we speak.
Oh, for the love of Merlin. If you ask me, he's got nothing to scream about. I could have had him put in the Hogshead. The pampered Pratt would have hated it. Grimy walls, smell of goats. And the patrons, they eat snooty princes like Ferdinand for dinner. But what's done is done. He isn't here anymore, and if I were you, I should enjoy it.
Astoria's kind of thugging, man.
Lovely
All right.
chatting with you.
Granted, I don't think he should be where the students are if he's making things up and lying about them. Shoot, we can't hop on our... I was going to hop on our broom here. We are going to go way south, it looks like. She really sold him down a river. Okay. I do feel bad that he was brought to a camp like this. I don't think anyone necessarily deserves that. Ashwinder camp.
They're in more danger than they know. Better have a look then.
She almost saw us right there. One over here. I can hear him yelling and screaming. Last one just for good measure. Or not. Guess it just didn't want me to end up killing him there. Is he down here? There he is, but how do we get... Oh, would you look at this? We've got
a Merlin trial when I see one.
Secret, need a little Alohomora action. We got this secret little underground layer here. This guy's incredibly annoying. I don't think he deserves to be in a Ashwinder location.
It's about time. It's a wonder there's anything left of me.
Kinda wish we could just destroy him.
Calm down. I'm here now.
Calm down. Those buffoons outside have been talking about burning me. Me! If they weren't all sharing half a brain, they'd realize I'm worth more to them intact and at the Three Broomsticks.
You're not going back
How
to
was
the Three
that?
Broomsticks.
With everything I overhear, I'm a veritable trove of information. Now, don't just stand there. I need to be back by cocktail hour. The place will be like a funeral without me.
What if I don't want to return you to the Three Broomsticks?
What on earth do you mean?
I could just burn you and be done with it.
I'd like to see you try.
You really oughtn't have said that.
No way. Burn Ferdinand's alternative frame. Can you actually?
Are you burning me? Oh. No.
I cannot believe I actually just did that and it let me do it. We should have put him at the Hogshead. I don't think he deserved to die, but okay, we're getting
This could prove dangerous if I'm not careful.
a bit more savage.
Oh, here's a pleasant surprise.
The further along we get, I guess. No, you know. You upset me, I'm not going to give you any second chances. You're annoying, you're lying about students, you're telling things about us to Black who we don't really like. You know what? You kind of deserved it. So we got an owl from Piers Pemberton. From the desk of Piers Pemberton, Hogsmeade. I don't know what you think you're doing, but I suspect you are the one who has been interfering with a rather personal matter. The demiguise statues and the moons contained therein were placed as they were for good reason. You should not meddle in the personal affairs of others. And our quests with Mr. Moon, the caretaker, the one we started this with that taught us, like, you know, Alohomora and stuff, that's updated. We were supposed to come talk to Piers.
Demiguise statues.
What are you doing?
Pardon me, sir, but about those curious demiguise statues I've seen.
What? Who are you? Why do you ask?
Well,
they're causing Mr. Moon terrible distress.
Ha! Good. That was the idea.
So you did create them?
Yes, I did. It was a ploy to give that pathetic oaf Moon a taste of the grief he caused me years ago. You are the one who's been pilfering them.
Yes, I am.
At the request of Mr. Moon. I received your owl on your stationery.
Ah. Well, fitting Moon would enlist a student. Too cowardly to do it himself. Hasn't changed a bit. Even when we were at school, he was a cowardly bully. Gave me a horrible nickname, which I shan't repeat. I was thrilled when we left school and he seemed gone for good. Then I started seeing him around Hogsmeade.
Tiny PP.
It was too much. Even if I do take satisfaction in that his life's destiny was to be a lowly caretaker.
Mr. Moon does a good deal for the school, and he's taught me a lot. He's terrified of those statues.
I know. You should have seen his face.
He put the boggart on him from episode 1.
That's when I knew what I needed to do. I simply didn't want to encounter him anymore. So, I shrewdly put a boggart in his path to learn his greatest fear. I then created the demiguise statues to keep him in his place, so to speak. The moons were an inspired play on his name.
Makes sense.
It worked brilliantly. Until you started clearing them out.
The statues are a form of bullying. You're no better than him. Perhaps it's time you both moved on.
I love the Hogsmeade music.
Fair point, I suppose. If they've terrified him, as you say, he may have learned his lesson.
And I especially love that they keep tying back to things that... You remember when Sebastian was taking us to Hogsmeade for the very first time, and we ran into Mr. Moon? We didn't know anything about him, really. I think he's somewhere over here near this grand staircase. But, yeah, when we were going to Hogsmeade for the very first time with Sebastian, and we saw Mr. Moon come running by, and he's screaming about something and wouldn't tell us what it was, and I was just like... I was so confused, and then it never talked about that again. And then now we've got the full story, the full tie back. We've learned spells in the process of uncovering it. And here we are towards the end of the game, learning things from the beginning of the game. I don't know. I think that's really cool. And this is not the first time that has happened. So, Mr. Moon, this is exactly where we first met, right outside the faculty building. Thank you for teaching us Aloha Mora 1, 2, and 3. And let's put this case to rest.
Mr. Moon, I've learned who's behind the demiguise statues. It was a classmate of yours that you bullied, Piers Pemberton.
Old PP.
Oh, I might have known. Pigtails Piers.
Yep. You deserve that, then.
I don't think he likes being called that.
Of course he does. Oh, he had such flowing locks, and we used to laugh about them. I laughed the hardest of all. Clever, clever man. I'd no idea he was so devious. I must go and congratulate him. Whatever statues remain seem less terrifying now that I know they were put out by old pigtails. Continue collecting them if you like. As for me, I'm gonna go and pay a visit to my old friend.
All right. So in one episode, we've reunited some old friends. We've reversed a curse. Picked up a gift from some merpeople. Burned a painting alive. Discovered the secret passageway to Hogsmeade. I would say that was a... pretty exciting episode. So I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. We still have quite a few side missions to go. This is the game that just keeps on giving. So if you guys want to see some more, just let me know. Drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I think there's probably 1 to 2 more episodes before we finish up all the side missions. So I'll see you there. Peace out.